Hello and welcome to today's program. My name is Michelle Martin and I am a certified international health coach and integrative nutrition health coach. I work at Canopy as both a customer success manager, but also as a wellness resource, acting as both a resource for health and wellness topics and just supporting Canopy's holistic health and wellness initiatives. We have a lot of content today in today's program, so I'm probably going to go ahead and just hold questions until the end of the program, but you are welcome to put your questions in the question box. And we are going to have some polls because I do want this to be interactive. So I'll launch some polls and hopefully we'll have a really good session and I'll be able to answer all your questions about the purpose and how it can enrich your life. So the topics today, really the topics of purpose has really grown, I'd say especially since the pandemic. However, there is about 6 decades of research that has been devoted to this meaning and the development and benefits of purpose in our life. Really love, family, friends, career development, meaningful work are really common sources of purpose, but a lot of times people are just looking for more and more interesting things. Really things that drive their presence in the journey of life, and helping others can be really part of that too. So there's really 2 things we're going to be talking about or breaking them down a little bit. And one is that external purpose. So it's that personal experiences that impact those around you. And then we're going to be talking about internal purpose, which is that personal journey and that impact purpose has on your life. Your personal life and your self-perception even more so. So really, I'm going to be providing a lot of tools for you to experiment with and a lot of thoughts. Purpose is very, very personal journey. So some of these tools are going to resonate, some of them are not. You can take pieces of those tools and modify them accordingly. But really, just know that your purpose is going to be very personal and it's probably going to change over time, and that is perfectly fine. So one of the things I just wanted to touch on is, since purpose is so incredibly individual, I want to make sure that everybody knows that nobody can tell you that your purpose isn't valuable or doesn't have it's not viable, or your purpose isn't purposeful. So definitely know that if somebody dismisses you, just walk on by your purpose. It's your journey. You're going to have your experiences. And the other thing is just, we have a different way of bringing value into the world by improving upon our own journey too and our own experiences. So really the difficult things that happen in our life, while difficult and sometimes really painful, they can actually even direct you to your purpose. I know I've had that happen to myself. I've had moments in my life where there's just been this really catalyst for change, and change can be difficult, but it's also really exciting too. So just have to find ways to sort of address things and make them work for you. Okay, I'm going to have my first poll. I'm really hoping this works. So hold on just one moment. Okay, I'm very curious how important is purpose to you? Have you thought about it? I'm even really curious if you already have purpose and you're just joining this program to sort of celebrate that more people are talking about it. Self-improvement is such a varied experience, right? Some people are going to find that in continued education. Some people are going to find that in spirituality. Some people are going to find that by a deep dive into who they are as a human being. Really, there's no one way to do it, and there's no wrong or right way to do it either. So I'm going to go ahead and share the results here. One moment. So I'm hoping I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't think you can, but I'm going to go ahead and share it. So 60% of you said this is very important. So purpose is very important to you, which is really cool. And 26% of you are saying slightly important, and 0% not important at all. So yes, that's probably why you're here, right? And then 6%, you've never really thought about purpose. So I think that's fair too. There's, again, no wrong or right way to do this. And I suppose purpose has been called probably different things too. At some point in time, it was just sort of like consciousness or just that your own personal journey is described in ways that are very different. I think now collectively we've just sort of agreed upon purpose is something that's really somewhat undefinable, but it's definable for you in your moment in time. So it's going to be, again, different things for different people. Now, purpose, as defined, is the intention to achieve a long-term goal that is both personally meaningful and makes a positive impact on the world. But really, it's a positive impact on the world if you are improving upon yourself and your own personal journey and your experiences. That is going to roll out into direct relationships that you have both in your personal life and your professional life. So really, maybe not all goals are personally meaningful experience that contribute to purpose, but in that intersection of kind of creating goals and personal meaning, and just focusing beyond the self and into thinking how that's rolling out into the world around you, that's really where purpose emerges, right? It's not just about me, it really is about a collective thought process, but it really is about how do I become the best version of myself. So 4 things that you might want to take away as far as understanding purpose. And 1, the sense of purpose may change over time and over your lifetime. And of course, that's a good thing. 2, purpose is not meant to be a destination. It really is about the journey, the exploration, the adventure. So a lot of it's like reading a book. For anybody who likes to read, you know what it's like to get to the end of your book. You're almost in an anxiety state, or at least maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but you're almost like, oh no, I'm going to end my book. And so the first thing I like to do is have another book lined up. So just thinking about not the end of the book, but really like, wow, that was an incredible journey, incredible story. Especially if it's nonfiction, you're sort of like, how did somebody make it through that? So really, it's going to be such a great journey when thinking about these next steps. 3, purpose is something we revisit and renew as we navigate experiences in life. And as I've mentioned before, I've had some definite changes in my purpose. I've actually had a career change which not a lot of people are ready to do, and there's no reason. If you love what you do, then that is your purpose. But I really was finding that I was lacking purpose in what I was doing, and when I shifted to health and wellness, I just felt an immense sense of fulfillment. And so that's when you know you're on the right track for your journey, and you can just sort of build on that. 4, one of the most interesting things as they've done these studies is that having purpose actually adds 7 years to your life. So if that's not enough reason to sort of get started with finding your purpose, I don't know what is. The other thing is that it's really a full lifestyle health benefit. So as they've done these studies, we can see that it's not just sort of our mental health or our fulfillment or this higher sense of purpose. It's really about how are we affecting our bodies and our minds as we are directing our thought process to finding more purpose. And so as we can see, all these wonderful health benefits. And there's been a lot of studies, just even recently, Boston University School of Public Health led a study which concluded that people with higher levels of purpose may have lower risk of death from any cause, which is fantastic news, and that the association is applicable to across race and ethnicity and gender. And this study was done with Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. They were a partner in that study. So this is a big interest within the health and wellness field, and just even, just thinking about it from a Western medicine sort of perspective, and just how this is going to carry across in different ways and studies as doctors are looking into this. And starting to understand that they could really help a lot of their patients when they think about how is this going to make their life better. Washington University research found important advantages in the purposefulness of adults, including better cognitive function and greater longevity, of course. People with purpose are more likely to exercise, see their doctor, and even floss their teeth. So why is that? The research suggests that people take better care of themselves when they feel they have something to live for. And that may seem a little bit obvious, but that's sort of what we're talking about here, is when we are sort of not stuck inwardly and we're thinking outwardly and we're finding ways to find that fulfillment, help others while helping ourselves. It's just really helps us reduce our stress levels, and then just feeling like we are contributing is such an immense gift to give ourselves and, of course, the people that we love. Okay, here's one of our tools that we're going to talk about today. This is a tool that the Japanese use. So this is a Japanese format here called Ikigai, and that is what they call the reason for being. And so this diagram is a fun way to sort of look at these four aspects and integrate them into finding your purpose. So one is that, what do you love to do? That's going to be what never gets boring for you. What is something that you have continued over a long period of time that still feels good when you do it? It gives you purpose. You find when you're doing it, you just flow, like you get lost in the moment, and something that you can just sort of feel, fulfilled about when you're doing it. So that goes on your first top of your graph. Second is recognizing your skills and your talents, obviously. Do you still, what do you enjoy spending time practicing and honing and getting really good at? And is there something that you want to focus your efforts on, but you haven't yet? So that could be something that you would add to your graph under that, what am I good at? And that's really going to be one of those things that you could meld your profession with your passion. So, which is sort of what I did. I mean, I was very passionate about health and wellness. And so, mind you, it took me a while to figure out how to take those steps so I was fully integrated into the career that I have now. But there's no time limit. That's the other thing. No one said you have to do this in the next 6 months. This could take somewhere along the lines of years, which was my journey. First, it was that self-discovery, like this is what I want to do. And then it's taking the steps to do it. And reach out for help when you're thinking about these types of things. I think that's really when I found my health and wellness mentor, and she really helped guide me. So there are people that are out there that are going to be able to help you once you start talking about this and just really integrating those things that you love to do into possibly a profession. Third, what does the world need? Really, that's one of the things that I think is probably the most important, is just really, how can you contribute, and what does that look like? Maybe that's volunteering. Maybe it's something that that you're really good at, inventions or engineering, and you want to start looking at, well, what's really what the world needs right now? And that seems big. So if you want to back it up, I think it does help to sort of write your own personal mission statement. When you're writing your personal mission statement, you're going to be integrating things like your passions, things like, your character are going to be sort of involved in that. But that really can equate to, how can I roll this out into the world so I can find more fulfillment with helping others? And then, of course, how does that translate to, monetarily? And it's not all about the money, of course, but if this is really something that you want to transition into making into a life purpose, it could really benefit you to have this translate into something that will make you money, and then you can do it all the time, right? So what have you been paid for in the past that you're good at? That's one way to look at it. What would you be doing if you didn't have your current job right now that you would love to do all the time, and that you could get paid for? What if people paid for you to do before? So lots of different ways to sort of move this into a happier, healthier life by creating that positive impact. And again, this is not the end goal. This is the whole reason for being, is your lifetime journey, right? We're going to be around a long time, hopefully. And so we want to be able to find ways to have this work through a lifetime. And so finding these common points between the four will take time. Don't rush it. Again, ask yourself some tough questions, but answer honestly. And I really tell people, be open to trying new things, and to, of course, be boldly curious, and, try to really just, think about thinking about not just the end goal, but really like you can do this. And when I tell you I've changed careers, again, I question myself a number of times. Is this the right thing to do? Because it is going to be humbling, but it's also going to be empowering. And I think that's part of the journey also. We weren't meant to be here to be just given things and have it easy. There's really something powerful in a little bit of struggle, because it really does feel like worth it once you get past that and you're doing something that you love to do. So let's talk a little bit more about finding purpose. Ikigai is a great format. It's very structured. It can really help you hone down some specifics, but I really love this idea of creating your personal foundation. So if you don't have a purpose right now, I like to tell people to kind of go back to basics, because when you start picking, or I shouldn't say picking apart, when you start sort of immersing yourself into some foundational points of your character and who you are and how you want the world to see you, you can really start making some big changes, and then passion and purpose emerges from that. So what if your purpose in life was just really becoming the best version of yourself through your experiences, your challenges, and your life lessons? I think that's really going to be those steps that you can take to sort of cultivate your higher sense of self. And these 4 components really can help you create that higher sense of self. So number 1, absolutely, integrity. Integrity is the aspect of your life that's continually tested, right? So some of these tests might be small, like an incorrect bill, but other tests are profound. They can be things like feigning affection to get what you want. It could be a bold-faced lie. And whether or not you're the one perpetuating this, or if it's being put upon you, these are lapses in integrity, and they are a sign of dysfunction. And while, mind you, I'm not a big fan of right and wrong, but I do like to let people know, like, to check into their feelings. Does it feel right or wrong? Because if something feels negative, positive and negative, pardon me, not right and wrong, to check into that positive and negative. If something feels negative, then you know that your body knows, and it's telling you this doesn't feel good. And so when we want to get out of that sort of non-feel good place, because that's when we can start to have our integrity erode. And the more we compromise our integrity, the more it affects our relationships. It can affect your career. It can affect your health. So more often than not, if you do not like who you are, you probably don't put a lot of value in your integrity. So the first thing is really cultivating that self-love, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness. A lot of times forgiving yourself can be a huge hurdle, or when we feel someone has harmed us and we sort of sit in this space of ill will or blame, it can really take a toll on our integrity, because we are sitting in this sort of space of wanting someone to be, wanting to place blame or shame. And when really we could forgive that person on our own and not have to carry that shame or blame. So having high integrity is really it's going to earn respect from people around you. It's going to make you feel really great. So that's really going to be an important part of making those changes. So definitely look at some of your behaviors. Again, when I say humbling, it's going to be a humbling journey. And I think that's a good thing for us. It's good to stay humble. I don't mean to stay in blame and shame. I mean to stay humble. And I'm going to talk about humility in a moment. But really having high integrity, it's going to be your calling card for how you feel about yourself and how other people perceive you. So be thinking a lot about that here in the next, few days. Maybe sit down and write a few things out. Journaling is really important for making changes like this, because you can look back and see how far you've come. You can see how to pivot. So if you don't have a journal yet, now might be a great time as you're sort of looking at creating purpose in your life, and especially if you're going to go on the journey of looking at your personal foundation. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about humility. Sometimes our egos, have a way of not grasping the true importance of life, right? We get really caught up in this sort of selfie experience, and that's actually rewarded. We are rewarded for having sort of selfishness. There's self-promotion, and I'm thinking of social media and influencers, very self-absorbed behaviors. And I'm sorry if that sounds judgmental. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to judge people for being a social media influencer. What I'm saying is it's really, it's a very siloed experience, and it's not always the truth. So we have to be really careful about seeing people having these experiences and thinking this is the way I'm going to be happy or I'm going to find purpose. It's going to be very individual for you. So having that instant gratification that we get from social media, the what's in it for me, and just having that sort of superficial experience is something that really might be time to let go. So if you're focusing a lot on that, maybe it's time to sort of take a step back, maybe drop a couple of social media platforms that you might be on, and just start focusing more on truly loving yourself, and not looking for outward validation, because that's a lot of times where we're at right now, is when we're not having that confidence in ourselves, we look for confidence outwardly. So loving yourself really does release you from having to find it from anyone else, and that's really going to be important. And so having the strong foundation is going to build on that and make it more powerful and easier for you to possess that. So when you start, really try thinking about extending maybe some of these, pay it forwards sort of mentality. So try extending positivity by making more eye contact with people, or actively listening to them rather than trying to interject your own opinions, because I know that we do a lot of that. And I will say a lot of times it's because we're wanting to connect. We want to tell our story or whatnot because we're trying to connect with someone. But really, there's a lot of power in pause and just taking a moment to hear somebody's story, really absorb what they're saying, listen, actively listen. And people take note of that. They see you making that eye contact. They see you listening. And it's so important and powerful to give that gift to people. And it also gives that gift to you also. So when you're, telling somebody you love them without an expectation of hearing it in return, and I know that sounds sort of difficult too, but that's a very, very powerful tool. We put a lot of time in expectation of others, and ourselves, let's be honest. I know I'm a recovering perfectionist, so we put a lot of expectations on ourselves and others. And so taking a moment to extend a positivity without the expectation of return, that's a huge, huge humbling thing to do. So practice these things, take some real dive into some self-awareness, because self-awareness is a really powerful tool. Just being conscious of things that you're saying and doing will go a long way to creating that foundation for yourself. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about gratitude. I feel like gratitude has definitely been talked a lot about since mindfulness has really come to the forefront, and getting people to sort of let go of their FOMO, that fear of missing out, and just really embrace the things that you do have and that you get to enjoy, because really, comparison is the thief of joy. I forget who, I think that's a Theodore Roosevelt quote, but it really, comparing yourself when you have so much already that you can be grateful for is immensely powerful and grounding. Very, very grounding thing to do. I'm the type of person that I like to stop and smell roses. I like to stop and pet dogs. There are small things that we can source throughout the course of our day that bring us joy, and they're free. They don't require anything from us other than our attention and our full appreciation of that moment. And it's so immensely powerful just when you know that, it's not about more money. It's not about more love. It's not about more promotion in your career. It's really being thankful for what you have in that moment, And if you want to make changes, you can make changes, but always knowing that if you're in that space, if you're really truly grounded, that it won't be that career promotion or that more money that's going to make you happy or more fulfilled. It's going to add to your experience, which is great, but really just remembering to be super appreciative of what you have in this moment in time, be a huge tool. Authenticity. Oh boy, this is kind of a hard one. I definitely know that many of us in the corporate world, and I'm not going to assume everybody's in the corporate world. I know we have a lot of different industries here. I used to work in an industry that required, I felt like, for me to be on all the time, just like really in a space of happiness and helpfulness all the time. It was quite exhausting. And mind you, as a health coach, I can flat out tell you right now, I'm not happy all the time. Like that's not even an expectation that's attainable for anyone. There's going to be hardships and things of that nature. And I think it's okay to say that out loud. I've seen suffering. I've experienced suffering. I've moved through suffering. And that's a human element. And so getting past this idea of the right job or the right mate or the right circles that you need to be in to be your authentic self. It's really not about that. It's really about the words you use, the behaviors you choose, along with your belief system. And I'll be fully transparent. I was incredibly insecure as a young child. My environment was not super supportive of just really having my own true presence. And so it took a lot of practice to make myself feel worthy of the good things that happen, or to feel worthy enough to go and get the things that I wanted to get. And so when you take off those masks and you can start to feel like yourself and be transparent, ask for what you want, and start really that self-love journey, that again, this personal foundation journey, you'll really find that those masks won't be needed. Doesn't mean we don't navigate conversations and relationships in a particular way, because I think that's being conscientious. Like if you know a colleague likes a certain communication style, and going to that colleague with that communication style, I think that's incredibly self-aware. So I'm not telling you to not do those things. It's really about, I'm encouraging you to just feel really good about who you are, and while you're working on yourself and, creating a better, more positive version of yourself. Okay. I think it's really important for us to talk about mindfulness because it is a tool that's going to help us sort of navigate finding our purpose. And if that purpose is working on your self-awareness, mindfulness is really an absolute tool that you're going to need. So mindfulness really has those three characters that are on the slide here. But I will say mindfulness can enhance your well-being too. So I definitely want to promote that. There are definitely a number of things that help both with higher brain function, emotional regulation, huge one as you're improving upon your journey, increase attention and focus, increase clarity of thinking and perception. I think it's really important to be thinking about perspectives and empathy and compassion while we are working with people and improving upon our journey. The experience of feeling connected is associated with mindfulness, and the positive effect on our vagus nerve. And for those of you that don't know what the vagus nerve is, it travels basically from our head down to our second gut, or our second brain, which is our gut. And it's so interconnected. So our thoughts are affecting our physical body. So if we can help our vagus nerve stay calm and positive, super beneficial there. And mindfulness is not a passive practice. I know there's some people that think it's a very passive practice, but mindfulness is actually a real honed in sort of practice to do. It's really about the reaction of the world happening around you as a spectator is not the truth. The truth is mindfulness is really assertive, and it's a lifestyle behavior. So those 3 points on the screen just really remembering, to cultivate that awareness. Are you listening to your body, your mind, paying attention to what thoughts are coming up? And those can be everything from anger, frustration. So this counts. And what really helps when you're practicing mindfulness is that you can feel those sensations come, and then to actively acknowledge them, because you don't want to just push them away or stuff them down the side. You want to acknowledge them, but also letting them go so that you can really have a positive experience, and not, again, have that power of that pause and not say something or do something that you're going to wish you had not. And then just viewing an experience from a non-judgmental space and a more curious space. I think it's really powerful if you see something happening. You can internally be asking yourself some questions like, are you okay? I mean, I have literally asked somebody, are you okay? And sometimes they're not, and they just need somebody to ask that question. So a lot of times, as we're practicing mindfulness, it does require us to be quiet and more purposeful with our words, and again, pushing that pause button, which is an incredibly powerful tool for us to have at the ready. Okay, I'm going to talk just about meditation. Bear with me for those of you that don't meditate and are not interested in meditation. I just want to talk about this for a moment because of the health benefits and the fact that when we are quiet and being not being distracted by so many things. I know that a lot of times people are looking for distraction, and even finding purpose can be somewhat of a distraction, right? So if we can slow down and just take a moment to, feel our bodies, let go of the inner dialogue that's constantly chattering, and just take a moment to be still and quiet and internally rest. There are some health benefits. The U.S. Department of Health revealed even 10 minutes, hopefully more, has documented health benefits. And these are the health benefits on the slide here. So you can almost instantly reduce your blood pressure when you go into meditation. And there are lots of different ways to meditate. There are some myths, I will say. Myth one, meditation is a spiritual practice. Truth is, meditation can be, but it's also a mindfulness tool. So if you're using it for your spiritual practice, that's wonderful. But for those of you who are not spiritual, it can be a mindfulness tool that helps you slow down and concentrate and relax, and just, obviously get these health benefits from it. And also, there's another myth that meditation takes too much time. So again, meditation can be done in 5 minutes, but 10 minutes gives you those health benefits. And what's lovely about it is that you can find meditation tools pretty much on almost any wellness app that's out there. There are YouTube channel meditations. I actually love a number of YouTube meditation tools that are out there right now. They can focus things on reducing anxiety, things that help with an ADHD mind, things that help you sleep, things that help self-healing. So there's lots of different tools that help with meditation. And meditation isn't, for those of you who have never meditated before, I just want to make sure you know that meditation doesn't have to be silence and nothingness. There's tools that make meditation easier. There's breathing techniques, there's sound meditation and guided meditations. Find what works for you. So this, again, is part of your individual journey, finding these tools that are going to work for you. So I'd say don't give up on meditation. It's about finding what meditation works best for you, because again, so helpful in your health journey, but also can be really helpful in your purpose journey. So give it a shot if you haven't done it already. Okay, I'm going to launch our second poll. Okay. So, curious. There's no wrong or right question here, right? So it's, how do you support and enhance your personal journey? This is going to be very different for a lot of different people. I can see lots of variations here. Great. Awesome. Again, no wrong or right answer. Okay, Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more seconds here to vote if you haven't already. I can see there's a few of you left that might want to vote. Great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close it. Thank you, everyone, for who dropped your votes in. I'm going to go ahead and share this information, of course. I'm hoping you guys can see this. But again, I think somebody gave me a thumbs up that you can, but I'm going to read it anyway. So 6% of you, thanks, Ivan. 6% mindfulness and meditation. Okay, glad. Okay. So those 6% spread the word. It's just really a powerful tool. These things are really wonderful to put in your health and wellness toolbox. I'd say they're game changers, honestly. These are things that have totally helped me. I am sort of probably from my own childhood experiences, I was a very anxious person, and I still have moments of anxiety, for in full transparency, but it has absolutely helped me calm my mind, breathe, breath work, so powerful. And that stillness has really helped me sort of focus my efforts on that self-awareness. So again, great tool. Physical health and well-being, excellent. That's our highest votes. And connecting with nature. Wonderful thing about it is physical health can be done in nature. So all of you who are outside getting your fitness and movement, that's a bonus, right? Cultivating your relationships and social connections, very important. There's lots of studies right now on the health, how detrimental loneliness can be to our health. So if you are needing some help there, definitely reach out to your EAP, to your community, and get the help you need to stay socially connected. And then, of course, 25% of you are here, and that's continued learning and self-awareness. That's what you're here for. So that's why hopefully you're going to take away some good tools for your toolbox. Great. Thanks for doing the poll. Okay. So while you're moving through some of this journey and finding your purpose, again, I had told you sometimes when going through this, some things are going to come up when you're being really honest with yourself. There could be some frustration that you're not able to find what you need, or that you don't think you're good at anything, or you just lack some of that self-support, and that's, that sort of confidence that you might have. That this is going to be really important to take good care of yourself. And that's really going to be different things for different people. So these are, again, our tools. Different tools are going to be effective for different people. So find what works best for you. I'm going to jump right down to sleep. If you are not sleeping well, this is going to be something that's going to be really helpful for you. A lot of times people don't understand how beneficial sleep can be in just creating a quiet mind, giving you that health and wellness so that you actually physically and mentally feel good enough to want to go on a purpose journey. So that's going to be really important. We've talked a little bit about social connection and the importance of that. If you're around like-minded people, one, they're going to support your efforts and your conversations about wanting to enhance your personal journey. And those are the people that you might find are going to help you. Maybe they know somebody in an industry that you want to transition to, or maybe they can help you set up your website. You just never know who you're going to meet. So keep up with those social connections. If helping others is really your passion, again, you can move your passion into your purpose. I love volunteering. I volunteer for NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And my time spent with the NAMI crew, they are amazing. They're incredibly positive, incredibly helpful, and so many tools that are helping other people. It just makes you feel good to know that you're out there, putting some knowledge out into the world and helping other people maybe move through some difficult experiences. And they've done studies around that also, that helping others makes us feel good and enhances our physical and mental well-being. So it's great. Jumping back up to the music, laughter, and vibration, I want to touch a little bit on that, because I don't know if we really think about what music does for us or how beneficial it is for us, but it's an incredibly powerful tool. One, it bypasses all sorts of socioeconomic barriers. So pretty much it can help anyone And there's music out there that can help sort of calm your mind, provide enhanced cognitive thinking. So go out there and find, some music that makes you feel good. And again, maybe it's you take a walk and you've got your favorite music on, or maybe you take a break and for 10 minutes you can close your eyes and just listen to your favorite music and just immerse yourself in that experience. These sort of self-support tools, again, are going to help you when you get frustrated, when you bump up against a roadblock, or when you feel like you're failing, because all of those moments might happen or could happen. But having these tools are going to keep you resilient, keep you center focused, and again, acting and moving forward. And that's going to be the important thing. Don't let these roadblocks be brick walls. They're just small roadblocks. You're going to get past them. Maybe even consider them speed bumps. You're just going to bump right over them. So just keep it moving forward. And then also just doing things that you love to do or do nothing at all. That's going to be a powerful tool. And don't let anybody tell you you're being lazy if you take a nap in the middle of the afternoon. I personally can't take naps. I feel way too groggy after that. So find what works best for you. The last thing I kind of want to just touch on before I talk about a couple other things, and when I talk about longevity, as you can see here, we're talking about purpose. And again, purpose can add 7 years to your longevity. So it's a wonderful thing to add to your wellness lifestyle toolbox. But if you've never heard of the blue zones are pockets of the world where people are living up to 100 years old or older, and they're all over the world. And so it's not one thing. It's not the food they eat. It's not the environment they're in. It's about a number of things. And really what they have found is things like eating more produce, making sure to be around the like-minded people, movement, putting your family or friends, because friends can be family too, as part of the forefront of your core group of people, and really just making sure that you're taking time for yourself and de-stressing and being good to yourself. The 80% rule, just to touch on that is a Japanese practice. It is called itadakimasu, which is, it's hara hachibu. That's the saying. Hara hachibu is really about eating less, but it's really more so, I'd say, about eating mindfully. So when you're eating, take time to be really, again, use your gratitude muscles to be just really thankful for the food that you have, and then take it in using all of your senses, the smell, the taste, the beauty of what it looks like. We should be really in reverence for the food options that we have, because there is food scarcity in many places. So if you are lucky enough to have wonderful meals, then just being super grateful is really going to be impactful. And again, that's going to be maybe one of those things that help you find your purpose. If one of these things that you're super passionate about and you want to start integrating it into your purpose, that's going to be what's going to be another way to find tools to get you there. Getting motivated. Okay. Again, I've given you a lot of tools. So what I want to just make sure to touch on is that these are just tools. You don't have to use all of them. You don't have to use any of them. It could be just, maybe a mindset shift. Because, our minds, we have certain set of thought processes that are ingrained in us, whether from our environment when we were young or just society in general. So it takes a lot to shift your mindset. And so just setting goals is really the number one thing I would do. Is just, if you want to set goals, don't say necessarily in your journal that I want to find my purpose in the next 3 weeks. Make it really attainable. So chunk it out a little bit. Maybe it's finding time to write down what you're passionate about. And then next it's about, do I like to volunteer? Yes or no? Ask yourself some questions. Again, be really honest with yourself, and be really ready for some of those things that might be frustrating. But again, you want to just stay in a positive mindset and move forward. And that's what's going to be really helpful, is finding people around you that support that. So again, you might find yourself in a community, and next thing you know, you might find your purpose. So definitely good things to do. I am going to leave a few minutes for questions, but I definitely wanted to just let you all know, if you are familiar with Canopy or if you're a client, we do have a blog. It's a Canopy Live Well blog. And we have a lot of articles on this blog. Many of them have been written by me, and they're definitely more of the self-awareness and self-improvement sort of topics. But you can visit our blog at thecanopywell.com and check that out anytime. And again, just want to open it up to questions. So if you'd like to go ahead and pop your questions, if you have not already, I think there is a question right now. I'm just going to see if I can see it right now. Very good. Okay. Okay, just if anybody doesn't have any questions, great. Okay. Well, that means you get 15 minutes early to go find something wonderful to do, or maybe to start your purpose journey, which is great. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.